Streaming. Should be coming back any second. Any second now. Here we go. Here we go. And I'm back. All right. It should be better now. I had a reboot. I'm sorry about that. Sometimes it just has to be done. Let me take that off so people don't walk in and think I'm rebooting. And a couple of people still held on. Thank you for waiting. Deck usually does it, and you understand it. All right, let me just check real quick. I'm checking to see what the delay is. We need to be at about 10 seconds. 5, 7, 8, 3, 4, 5. 10 seconds. Perfect. Okay, you see when I put my finger up? That means I'm checking to see delay. Delay is 10 seconds. Before we were at 25, 30 seconds. So that's why it kept knocking me off. We should be fine right now. But I'm sure you got the lesson, right? You guys did get the lesson. And let me go back real quick to this platform here. I was talking about stock manipulation. I was talking to my friend. I don't know if he's still in here. I don't want to mention who he is unless he wants me to know. We were talking about stock market manipulation. And I told him SMM. I know that some of you think that it's a sexual position, but it's not. What it means is stock market manipulation. And it's something that we need to discuss because you need to understand how it works. And if you play the SPY, or SPX, you will know that the SPY is the most manipulated stock out there, bar any, including even Tesla, which is a heavily manipulated stock. But Tesla does work a lot more off of the news itself, what's happening with Tesla, and then times it'll follow the market. Okay, so I just want you to understand. Now, I am on 1 minute right now. It is 1:30. I could bring it. I want you to see what's happening minute by minute. But if I was trading right now, I would be in a 3 or 5 minute. And a lot of times what I do is I will check. Okay, let me make sure that beeper thing is off. It's from another room because I am a moderator for Deck's room and I do watch the rooms. I go back and forth while I'm in here and I do moderate. I'm correcting people all the time on proper format, proper language, and once in a while I even have to toss somebody out of here for acting like a jerk. And I don't know anybody in this room that would do that. All right, so right here you can see we're dropping bottoms. We got back down to about 45. All right, so I'm just going to tweak it down a little bit. All right, so that gives us 428.45. You see we have support once, twice, 3, 4 times. All right, so we got support there, 428.45. Let's bring this down to 428, 429.40. It would be $1. I'm going to bring it down a little further down and bring it to 429. Because right now we would want to try to bring it back to that point. That shows, and we're still dropping. So right now we should be in a put. And right now, if you look real quick, you'll see it's probably changed. If we look real quick, if we're just out of the market, we'd be at 630, would be 42.95. All right. So if I was to change some of these real quick, all right, 42.95, let's copy. And let's put this down here. And I'm going to change that. It only went down 5. So what would be the difference if I traded the other one? Nothing. You'd just be able to be a little further out of the money. That's all. Okay? Or a little further in the money. Either way, it's still fine. 4,300. Now, as far as the SPY, it would be 429 and 428. These are still the same. So I only changed the SPX, really, is what I changed right now. Tesla still looks like it's about the same. Actually, Tesla would be 247.50 and 242.50. Actually, I have 245. That would be, that did change a little bit. All right, hold on. I'll change it again. Just change Tesla. SPY, let's see. Okay, AMD. AMD is now 103. Oh, a couple of them changed. Let me change them. 103, 102. And then you got Tesla here is 240, 245 is 247.50 dot, and then this would be 245 dot, and 245.00 there. Okay, that should change them pretty much. If I missed one, it's still close. Okay, so I changed AMD. I changed NVIDIA is 432.50 is still correct. So pretty much we're set. And Tesla, look at it, back down. So you can see, if you look at Tesla, I want to show you something really important. Let's go to a 3-minute so we can look at the whole chart. And let's open it up a little more so we can expand on it. All right, and let's bring this over and let's bring this down. If you look at the day, how we started our day, and of course you can see our support is now going to go back down to about 427.75. So let's bring it down to the VWAP. All right, that's our next step down, and it's really dropping, 427.75. And why wouldn't it? There was no real news to bring it up. So what brought it up was manipulation. All right, so we're going to leave that like that. If you look in the morning, the first thing that happened is right in the day, the stock dropped. Then it jumped up. Then it came down. So I'm telling you, as new traders, you should never be trading the SPY the first 3 or 4 minutes. You should wait. Feel out where it's going to go. This here is a fake out down, a breakout up. Actually, let me see if that's the first one. Is this 9:30? It was a breakdown, break up, came down, and bingo. 1, 2, 3. About 4 or 5 minutes later, here you go. 9:45, 15 minutes later, right? Because I'm on a 3-minute. All right. Let's take a look at this for 1 second. Go back to 1 minute. I really want you to see the first 5 minutes, and I'm missing that. It's important, especially in the morning. You would be on a 1 minute. Let's see, 1, 2. I know something wasn't right there. Here we go. Here we go. Much better. All right. First thing, it came up and came down. It went up, it came down. So here's your chop, 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 chop. And then it comes down, and then it jumps up. 1, 2 in a row. All right. And I'm sure it's a lot of shares traded. All right. And then after that, it comes down. So up, down. This is not even a good example of my day, but usually it drops to the lower VWAP. It comes back to the VWAP. We started higher, so we went a little higher. Came back, and we followed this VWAP. Kept bouncing off it until we got up here. See what happens from around here? At 9:49, we go straight up to here. Up, and we go into the upper VWAP. It follows it, pulls back to the VWAP. It doesn't hold. It comes back down towards the lower VWAP. Comes back up to the upper VWAP twice, okay? And then look what happens. Out of nowhere, let's look at this at 11:22. And let's go here. Where's the news? 11:05, something about China. That wouldn't have any to do with at 11:22. King dollar, okay, 11:28. So there's no real news that should have jumped this. It's manipulation. And then whatever may have happened or didn't happen had some slight occurrence to the news of it. This is a totally manipulated stock. So you have to really think about this. You had in here, you had a channel between here and here. Then this channel became between here and here. And then we went to another channel to here and then to the next channel. So you can see all the different channels. And then look what happens right now. We go all the ways up again. It looks like it's pulling back down. We come back all the way. And look where we end up. This is such manipulation up to the highest point of the upper VWAP again. Upper VWAP, right here. Upper VWAP. It came a little bit above it, but it followed the upper VWAP. Followed the upper VWAP. See what happens? But eventually, what does it do? It comes all the way back down. And here we are at the VWAP again. So here's our support right there. It's a little bit higher. So let's say right now we're at 428. All right. So we seem to have some sort of support at 428, and it's going to go back up right now because they're going to have to make money. These billionaires are made their money going up. Now they made their money going down, and it's going back up again. For what reason? 1310 is 210. Is 110, I mean. Is 110. There's no news. There's no real news. Stocks rebound as dollar treasury yields retreat. Bitcoin targets best September season. Nothing to really make this market go up or down like that, okay? This is more manipulation than there's anything else. If you can understand that and you can appreciate the manipulation, you can follow the manipulation. Try to think the opposite of what you think. Try to think like if you were a billionaire. They are trying to sucker punch every single one of you with accounts between 10,000 and 100,000. They can take on every move they make. They're taking $1 million, $1 million, $1 million, $1 million. They can make themselves, when you look at something like this, let's say right here, you had, see if I can tell. Let's go into the large one for a second, right here. Let's go into the SPY, and let's say right here, look what's coming down here. 239,000. 90, so 230, that's 300,000. 370, 470, 520, 520, 600,000, 800,000. There you go. 1 million shares right there. Out of that million shares, I'm willing to bet you about 700,000 could be one person, maybe even 500,000. So you take 500,000 shares, you multiply that times an average of $428 a share. You're talking about 214 million. Somebody in here is controlling between 100 and 200 million dollars worth of stock. You take 200 million, okay? You take 200 million. Somebody can move 20. What happened just now? I clapped my hands and the thing disappeared. If somebody can manipulate 50,000 shares at a time like that, imagine how much they can move this thing. They'll fake you up to bring it down. They'll bring it down to bring it up. They make $1 million or more. There's maybe several people in here, but there's a majority of people in here with a large amount of shares that are manipulating the stock, and you're just driving it like a tail end. Think about it like sharks. Sharks are big fish. A shark can go from 0 to 40 in about 3 seconds, okay? Boom! A shark has these little tiny fish that eat the parasites. Anybody have fish tanks here? You know what I'm talking about. They got these little fish that eat parasites off of sharks. So the sharks will never eat those little parasite fish. But what happens is the parasite fish stick onto them and they eat the parasite. When the shark takes off and he stops short at 40 miles an hour, those little minnow fish fly off in the direction of going up. And then what happens? They drop the stock. You're left behind. Well, you're one of those little minnow sharks. You're one of those little minnow fish that eat off the shark, okay? So it's like being on a surfboard and you're riding the wave and then all of a sudden another wave comes and knocks you off. That's what's happening. It's reversing, it's changing position, any way you want to look at it. All they need is a small move like this in here, from here to here. So you got right here, you got 150,000 and 300,000. That's 450. That's 5. That's a 500,000 shares right there. If 200,000 shares was one person, okay, and he makes between, let's see, 427.86 and 428.25. So what did I say? So we got 25, 35, 45 cents. So if you got 45 cents times 100,000 shares, you just made $400,000. I'm telling you, they make such a significant amount of money on small moves that they're always trying to fake you out. You have to be realizing this. And if you don't, and you keeping mental stop losses, you're getting your ass kicked. So every time you make a good deal of money, then you turn around and get your ass kicked and you lose it all. And it becomes, this is what it becomes for you. Ready? I'm going to show you something. Give me 1 second. I'm going to bring it up. Stock trading for you. Let's see. Let's see if this is the right one. That's not it. Hold on. Give me a second. I got it. I got it. I got it. Don't worry. I got it. I know where it is. Okay. Let's try this one. Bingo. Here you go. Okay. So this is what it becomes for you. Stock market roller coaster. On the way back up, on the way back down. See the fish? See the fish? What's that? There's the shark. There's these little fish getting eaten up. Those are little minnow sharks, whatever, and people dying there. There it is. I mean, this is it. You're in a roller coaster going up and down and up and down, and then you lose, and what happens? Okay? And look at this. I was right originally. Remember I said the VWAP? All right? And that's why I told you originally 427.75. And that is your support. The question is, will it hold the support or will it fall below? So let's go back to the beginning of our day here. Let's bring this up and let's just make this a little smaller. There we go. And let's bring this over. And bingo. So you can see from here, from right there to right over here is how much? $2.50. That's how far this could drop without a heartbeat. Look where we started our day. All right, 424.95. So there's a good scenario. If no good news comes out from 430 back from starting at 424 something, that we can fall back anywhere to that point. So if we don't hold this position here, we could end up back here, right over here at 425.40, 426. Very easily could run back to 426. But we're going to have to wait and see what happens. What do you think is going to happen? Does anybody here have any thought on which direction they think the SPY is going to end up? It's almost 2 o'clock. So if nothing happens at 2, then we have to wait for power hour. What's going to happen? And your job is to try to figure out reading the charts. And it's very, very difficult. Some of you will look at this and go, well, I see right here, 1, 2, 3. I don't use Head and Shoulders when it comes to the SPY. I really don't. With stocks, maybe, but not the SPY. But let's go back now and let's see what we're looking at. If I looked at a 1 hour, all right, where do we got that? 5 day, 1 day. I may not have a 1 hour in here. It would be a daily. 1 day, 1 year, 550 days. Don't have 1 hour? Damn. All right, let's just use 15 minutes. 15 minutes, you can see what's happening here. All right, let's make it a little bit larger. On a 15-minute, you can see what's happening. Down, down, down. That's where we're headed right now. So if I was to make trend lines right now, we'd show more down. We hit the high of the day. Everything from there on is descending. If you look from the beginning of the day, okay, make it a little bit bigger. And what I can do here right quick, I'm going to do this. Let's put it in there. It should be pretty much the same. I'm going to go to the top, 430.25. I'll never get it exact. Oh, I had close. I'm going to take that. I missed it. 4, right there. I just want to get close. And then I'm going to bring this down to about there. Okay. And let's cancel my left. Then I want to take from the bottom of my day, which was about, I'm going to just use a spot that I can see the whole thing. Let's just take it from even right there. Let's say right there. Boom. And let's put it right underneath it, right there, like that. What you see now is what's happening. We're descending, descending, descending. Okay? We got to that point, okay, because we started about here, right? So let's say we start on this top one so I can reach it. And I had a point from here to here, all right? So you can see where I went up, all right? Cancel my right. Cancel my right on 135. Cancel my left. Cancel left on that extension. And cancel left on this extension. All right, so you can see our day, how we went up, how we went up, how we came down. And now you can see, and we bring this back now to about a 5-minute, all right? It's not going to change it. What it's going to do, show me more exact. The only difference is I'm going to adjust this. I'm going to activate that up just to the top. And I'm going to, I'm going to activate that and put it right up to about 430. I got 25. It's just going to change the angle a little bit if I'm wrong. Let's see, 20. That's good. Perfect. Okay. So it doesn't have to be 100% right on. But it does. What it's giving me is an idea of my squeeze plate, either up or down. I will take this. I hate when it does that. I'm going to just move that to the top there. I hate that. I can't believe I moved that whole thing. Let's see if I can bring it back. Okay, bingo. Let's activate it again. This time I'll bring it down. Now I can do it. There's some tricks you'll learn. All right, so there you go. So you can see now my play. I have a step up. Now I'm coming down. So what that is the bears are pushing down. The bulls from the bottom are trying to push this up. But as you can see, if I don't touch this, every time I do this, what's happening? I'm starting to get a little bit lower, but we're still trying to hold at this VWAP. See the VWAP? All right, let's make this a little smaller. There we go. Now you have a real good look at our day from the low of our day. And sometimes what I do is if I can't do it without crossing over, I'll just take it. It'll give me a different type of an angle, but it won't change it that much. I'll take that to, oh, I missed it. All right, hold on one more time. Activate it, and I will bring this to right there on the bottom of that point, right there. Okay? Some people will get real elaborate. They'll bring up Fibonacci charts, and they're going to show. And what the Fibonacci will show me is if it goes here, and it continues. It'll go to here, then here, then here, and it tells me. But I already know it. I can already feel it. You see what went up with all this manipulation? Nothing that had very little to do with any. Well, let's see. U.S.-China talks gather momentum. All right, good for the U.S. So at 11:05, what happened? Let's see. What time? 11:20, 11:10:35. At 11:05, what happened? What happened? What happened? Bingo. We had a little bit of an uprise right there from 11:05. If I look at 11:28, okay, here's 11:50, here's 11:40, here's 11:30. We still had 11:28 to 30 is all in here, still rising up. There's a little bit of good news. China talks, King dollar gathering in the way of momentum stock trading. All right, you can open that up. It says stock gurus, China and Russia. And you know what? Nothing that's really going to move them that much one way or the other. So a lot of this is more manipulation than it is, or at the same time, Apple was moving up until it wasn't. When Apple started moving down, so let's take a look. Let's go into FinViz for a second. And let's bring it over because we always like to look at FinViz. And you'll see the markets have been up, but before, the markets were up even higher. It was up like 170. And you look, and if you look at the color coordination here, all right, and you can see there was a time that Apple, where's Apple? You can see it's dropping, dropping, dropping. Apple was lighter green before, and it started going down, 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 and so did Microsoft. So when Microsoft, Amazon, and Apple started moving together, moving down, it brought the SPY with it. So to a certain point, you have a lot of manipulation, but at a certain points, you have the S&Ps in here with moving. What was keeping it up? Here we have Google, Tesla, and NVIDIA against Amazon, Microsoft, and Apple. These are your three largest right here, okay? Your next is Tesla, Google, Meta, okay? Let's get rid of this in here. Can't stand all this. So you got Meta, Google, Tesla, and NVIDIA are some of your largest, but not as large as these three together. So you take these three coming down and these three going up, who's going to win, okay? The idea is if these come down further, then these three go up, it's going to bring the markets down. And the overall picture of your S&Ps is that the market was up. Same thing with the Russell 2000, which is your lower 2000 on the Russells. The S&Ps are here as again, 2386. And that's your Dow. Your S&Ps is this right here, your 500 stocks, your top 500s, all right? And then your NASDAQ as a whole. The stock market is up. But again, what's bringing it up, what's bringing it down, it must be taken into consideration to know which way we're going, all right? Otherwise, you're going to get stuck somewhere in the middle. Let me get rid of this, all right? And I like to keep it around, and let's go back to my, where is it? My 3-in-1, all right? And you can see what happened from the time I walked away from here, all right? If you look at this, remember, I was here. Let's bring this to here, all right? And then we can see what happened here is when I walked away and I started to leave. Now, I'm going to do what's called my active step. So I'm going to take it from here and bring it to here. And now you can see we have another step down. Shoot, I hate when that happens. It's because I didn't click another time. You got to click it to make it stick. Click. Then I want to remove my left. It shows you where I came from. Here, I'm going to remove my right. And I'll just bring them together. So like this one here, watch this. I'm just going to, it's probably 133. Let's bring it right on top of it. I think that does it right there. There you go. So you can see now I've got to step down, and then you can see. And if I can look at percentages, like if I had one of those compasses, and I move this to the right, you could see the percentage in here, in that angle, how much it's coming down, down. And then we can see the same thing from here if it's moving down. Right now it's staying. So we're still holding our support, but our resistance is coming down, and it's coming down even more. So what I'm going to do at this moment doesn't mean it won't come back up, okay? So cancel my right, and I'm going to bring my resistance here. And let's activate this and say that my resistance now would probably be closer to 428, 64, 65, 57, 55, what is it, right in there? About 50. Let's put it right there for right now and say we're at about 428.50 is our resistance. Now, can we push through there? That puts me in a much tighter channel. My channel now is from 75 to 50 is 75 cents. And I'm towards the top of this channel. Now, I don't play breakouts, which means that I'm not going to play this breakout here. Just for curiosity. Whoa. Good thing I had that cap closed. Cap closed. All right, just want to see something real quick. Just give me 1 second. Okay, he's still playing videos. Okay, let's just take that. Give me 1 second. Just give me a second here. Robbie. I hate this thing. I hate these pop-ups. You know, every time he does this, I hate these pop-ups. Okay, and one more. Oh, I see my buddy's on. Okay. Let's knock on his door. Okay. It's fair game. Fair game. Fair game. Okay. Let me put that back in there, and I can still watch this one. Oh, I got the wrong one. Okay, that's still in there. Give me a second. Where's mine? I lost mine again, you see? If I fool around, I can lose it very quickly. I don't know why this keeps happening. I really don't. All right. Let's put that in there. I've got 720 on that one, and I want high definition on this one. All right, there we go. It's the internet on my side, probably, that's doing it. We have not had the best weather. I find when I have bad weather that my internet not always the best. All right, so you see we've gotten tighter. Don't forget to do this and put the arm back. So otherwise you'll make certain moves. You'll move loose things, and you don't want to do that. Here again, you can see our resistance here on Tesla has come down pretty much to about, let's say, 246 and let's say 45. Let's see where that puts me real quick. 246.45, is that right? Yeah. And here we've got 245. Shouldn't be 05. That's not right. 245. Just make it 245. Okay, there we go. So you can see in here we've got from 45 to less than $1, 45, and here's $1.45 in here. Could be a little lower. We could bring it back in a little, but I'm going to leave it because Tesla has a way of moving that way. Also on NVIDIA here, I'm going to bring my support down, and let's just bring it to about 430.75. I'm going to see where it brings me. I'm just moving down a step. Step is 25, 50, 75. It's more. So we're looking around 65. All right, so it's even further. Let's go 430.65. Bingo. What am I looking at? 430. Oh, it's 430. I'm sorry. 430. That's about right. 430, and then our top would be about 430.50. Who's calling me? Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. It's a friend who can't call. She's in a nursing home, so I just told her I'm live right now. And then we want to bring down this a little bit, and I would say I like to keep it about $1.50, and that's 433. Let's say 430. Who's calling me back? This one I got to take for a second. I'll be right back. Sorry, that was my son telling me about his. I know he's going to need surgery on his rotator cuff. That's what I told him it was, and that's what it is. But they're giving him a choice for physical therapy, and I went through that years ago for the same thing. All right, so we can see here I wanted to bring this down. If we're at 430, then I would say 430, 431.50 approximately. Let's see where I'm at. 432. Let's just bring it down to 432. That's $2. I like to leave, NVIDIA is the only one I like to leave a greater gap because of the way it moves. It's very small on the chart, and it can be a lot more than it looks. Right here, look at my cross lines. We're still in that pattern. We're still staying. So what shows me in here is we're getting to the point, if we stay like this, where we're going to squeeze. Are we going to squeeze up? Are we going to squeeze down? Or are we going to stay consolidated and come straight across? This, if I have to guess, I'm going to guess that we're going to come down a little further and maybe bounce off the VWAP one more time. But you don't know that. At this point, it could go. I don't bet in the middle. If you're going to bet on it going up or you're going to bet on it coming down, then make sure that you keep yourself, depending on the cost of the contracts. Now, if I look at SPY contracts right now, all right, then the cost of the contracts would be, let me show you how I do this. All right, come on, open. The SPY contracts are $2, let's say. At $2 a share for a put, or about approximately $2. Let's just round it off and say $2, okay? So around $2, if I've got 5 contracts, all right, $2, 10% of $2 is 20 cents. So that means if that contract moves 20 cents, and I've got 500 shares, 5 contracts, that's $100. I could go a little more than that. So instead of 5%, I could go maybe 7.5%. So if it moves 7.5%, okay, if we set the contracts at $2, so $2 times, let's say, 7.5% should be $2.25. Let me see what that equals. About 15 cents. So 500 is only $75. You could actually go higher. You could actually go to 10% with no problem. 10% is 20 cents. 20 cents is 100. So you can go about 12.5%. That would bring you to about 125. That's where I feel comfortable. So the lower the price, the higher you can go percentage if you're on 5 contracts. You have to go and figure yourself, how much am I willing to lose if I lose? Now, nobody wants to lose, but a good, smart trader has a plan, okay? Why do we have a plan? Okay, because we do work off something called hope. And hope, all right, is not a strategy, all right? So I always put up, you see all the time, I always put this thing up, and it says, just so you can see it, hope is not a strategy. We must always have a plan. And part of that plan is having a stop loss. And that stop loss is how we reduce our risk. And if we reduce our risk in every trade, and we have a plan going in and coming out, okay? And some people have a different plan. That plan is, well, if it still goes a little further in the other direction, I still think it's going to go. It's not that I hope it's going to go. I believe, after looking at the chart, that it's going to go in this direction. So I might cost average up or cost average down, depending on which trend or direction that I'm going. Okay? Does that make sense? And you can all look in my alert section. And one of the things that, just remember, bench trading, 7 most. I'm missing something here. It is change your contracts. There's something, if you all look in the alert section, you'll see there's certain things that I put in there. So you must always change your contracts up often. Every 10, 15 minutes, if you're not in a stock, check. Change your contracts often if you're not in one. Check every 15 minutes. Stay in the money or just out of the money, and you won't have to worry about theta. If you keep your delta above 40 at all times, trust me, delta pays you faster. The higher the delta, the faster it prints. Now, it also works in the opposite. If it goes the opposite direction and you have a high delta, you're going to lose faster too. So that's why a lot of people choose to be even further out of the money, okay? And people with big accounts want to be further in the money because they're so sure of themselves of which way it's going to go. They want to make the big money, okay? So I'm not telling you to do that. But I have a friend who came here and he lost $135,000 at TradeCaster. He went to another company. I won't name the company, Warrior, but he lost another $37,000 there. Just kidding. No, he did lose. And then he went and he learned how to do options. And he only did Tesla. This was about a year and a half ago. And he showed me his whole play for 2 days. He not only won back his total losses from here and there, he made back $500,000 $536,000 in a matter, you ready for this? In 5 days using options. So he lost his ass in 2 places, but then he learned how to do options and he learned how to do it. And he showed me. He wouldn't tell me his secret. He wanted me to join some other organization, which I didn't. I just took his win and loss and I looked at everything he did. I even saw a few times he tried to do called trail stops. He used trail stops with options. If you can learn how to do trail stops successfully, when a stock's going up, you can just walk away. If as long as it keeps going up, up, and up, your stop loss will keep going up, and up, or the other way, go down, down, and down. You're doing puts or calls. And he just did straight puts and straight calls. Those are called long puts and long calls. And he made over $530,000. I spoke to him on the phone. I go, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I'm at the Lexus dealer. I'm buying a $135,000 automobile for cash." I go, "Why?" He goes, and he showed me why. And he sent me his things. And look what's happening right now. Remember I told you don't know which way it's going. So right now, look at this. What's happening here? We are starting to move up right to there. Now, once this, okay, this here, remember I had a different step up here? Once this step moves up, let's go to the right. Once it moves up to there, I will take this and remove that line. I no longer need it. So I'll leave it there for a second so you can see our original line from when we stopped. When we stop going up, we hit that high of the day and we start coming back the other way. All right. And now you can look at it here. So, I mean, truthfully, if I want, I could take this out. I can take away this extra step. And then I can take this here and let's activate it. And let's go find it. There it is. And I can take this from here and I can push it to right over there. And there's my step. I just try not to cross over if I don't have to. I just show you where the extra step is. But we're so close to where we were, I'm just going to use this. So I told you, I didn't know if we were going to end up here, here, or here. Right now, we're still up in this upper section because we came up, which brings us over here, okay? And that's where we're going. We want to head up. But are we headed up? We're still going right now from here to here is lower highs. So from here to here to here is lower highs. And from about here to here to here to here was lower lows. And for the first time, we started to bring slightly higher lows, okay? Not lower lows, higher lows. And that could be right there, the reversal. We don't know yet. But right here, we see consolidation on the 1 minute. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's usually about 10 to 12 that we usually see something happen. But I am looking at this, and what do I see? Upper doji, shadow, shadow, big shadow, which shows reversal. And right now, that's putting us under the 13, but we're just slightly above the VWAP. So right now, we want to see, we're still holding our VWAP. I would say slightly above it, but let's say right there at 427. I think I'm at 75. I'm going to leave it. We're right at the VWAP as, and there it is, and there it is. We're right at our VWAP as our actual support. See? So right now, I can take this from here and move it to right there. And you can see what's happening. We're starting to move down a little further down, which now is going to put us, instead of in here, it's going to put us in here or back down here. If we don't hold this position here, then we could end up looking back down to, easily by tomorrow, back around here somewhere, which would bring us to about 427, let's say 427 for right now. So if I was to put in right now, if I was to put in a lower target, I wouldn't put it in until we broke the VWAP. It would be 427. Look at that, 42777. God's favorite number, 777. So you have an idea. Trying to learn to read these charts, it's very, very difficult, especially when you have so much. Look how sideways. You don't make money in a market that's sideways unless you can time it just perfectly. There's this chop inside of it. It's nothing is 100%, but you're chasing and chasing and chasing. And what's happening with my resistance now? My resistance is getting lower and lower. Let's see. I got 428.40. I'm at 428.06. Let's say right now, let's put it at 40. All right. So 428.40, and right here 75. We're at 40, 50, 65 cents in this channel. All right, you can bring it a little closer like this. You can see it. Truthfully, you have a triple top right there at 27, and we're at 20. Let's see what happens if I don't pop over my trend line. All right, And as long as I stay below my resistance, there it is. I'm above my trend line slightly. All right, so that's 35, 26. I'm sorry, 26. So at 26, we got 1, 2, 3, again, 4, 5. They're all very, very about 30, 428.30. Let's see if right now, if that is correct. 428 and 30 cents. See the resistance at the top? You see the top? You got 1, 2. They're actually below that. They're about 28, 27, 25 right there. So I'm going to put it at 25 right now. You can see it's coming down. It is slowly coming down. So unless somebody comes in and pops in and buys a whole bunch of shares to fake out, to make you think it's going up, it's still coming down. All right? The only thing is we did pop up a little bit here. I'm just going to adjust this a little bit, and I'm going to put that from there to about right there. All right? So you can see we're still in a squeeze pattern, and it's getting tighter and tighter. This is even moving up. So you got 427.85. Instead of I'm going to put it just slightly above the VWAP. Instead of 75, let's put it at 85. I'm tweaking it just a little more. There's no perfection here. There's no exact. If I bring up the program right now for this, and I say, all right, what's my support and resistance? What do they say? All right. There is a program in here called support and resistance. I never understood it 100%, but if you put it in here, watch what happens. So I apply and in. Now, you can see mine. Hold on. Theirs is in green. Their colors are just the opposite. I put green for my support, and I put R for resistance. Look at theirs up here. There's their resistance all the way up at 429.20. And then they have their red down here in checkered lines, 427.66. I have mine. I had it at 75. I just brought it up a little bit. You see, we're not that far apart. We're way far apart here. My angles, there's their trend. You see? It's a parallel. They're going here. They do the parallel from here to here, which is fine. All I did was add an extra step in showing when we were going back up. I can take that back out when it stops happening, which we're almost straight across. Then I'll just use my support line. So truthfully, what I can do is if I take this out, all right, if I remove my uptrend, all right, right now, then you'll see I will use my support line from my upper trend to my bottom support, and that will be my angle. And you see we came back up a little. You see their upper line? That's where it hit. They're right. They're more correct. They're more, but you see what happens when I check mine? When I activate this, and watch this, and I'm going to put it where it is. Watch. That's exactly where it's going to go. I always put it to the top of the dot. Let's say, boom, I'm exactly on their line. See, when I do what I do, I'm moving as it moves. They're speculating where it's going to go. They were correct this time. They're not always 100%, but I found that my way keeps me in a tighter area between here and here. All right, now I know my resistance has gone up slightly. All right, so if I want to edit this up, let's go back to the 35. Let's go to even 40. Could be 45. I'm not even sure where it went. All right, and there's where it is. And I'm tighter in here. I have a better grasp of where it's going. They're thinking it could go back up here to the high resistance where we were before, which was here. You see it on that top right there where it hit that upper doji before it came down. They're putting that as their resistance. And their low point, they're putting right here where it hit that low dot in this time period here. I know there's a way I can draw lines. I've done it before where I can outline this whole area here. All right. There's a way of just changing something in here. I think it's one of these parallel bars. I'm not sure. I'm not going to play with it because I'll end up messing everything up. I don't play with it enough anymore, so I don't know. But I'm just showing you what they put, what I put. This is a parallel. You see, from here to here is a parallel. It's parallel to each other, and they were parallel. We're going down, down, down. Slight reversal here, but staying within the resistance, staying within the channel at this point. All right? But at this point, I can either leave what they have in and what I have, show you what I do and why I do it. I'm not that far from them. I just do it a little bit differently, and it works for me. Okay? And it could work for you. I've had a lot of people say, wow, this really puts it into perspective, and you really put it into a language that I can thoroughly understand it. Okay? Where a lot of people listen, they listen to Kush. I love listening to Kush, but I can't always understand what he's saying. Not because there's a language barrier, it's because he talks too fast, And the fact is, what he's doing, I don't thoroughly have a concept of exactly what he does 100% to say that that's the way I want to do it. I love what he does with his alert systems, the way he used to do it. I don't know if he does it that way. He used to put higher and lower alerts where it's almost like a Fibonacci. If it hits here, it's going to go here, here, and here. If it goes down, it's going to go here, here, and here. If I want, I can draw a Fibonacci in time. So let's just take this out for a second. I don't want to have too much going on. So let's edit my studies, and let's take away my support and resistance from them, all right? But now, let's go back in here. Let's take it to a now time, and let's do this. Let me just go back to here, a little larger, all right? Let me just see something real quick. That's perfect. I can pull that down. Let's see, I can pull this down any. There we go. Okay, this is my SPY, all right? This is my other lines. And let's take this back and put it to here. I'm going to go for my high of the day, which is 430.25. Just look to the right, and you'll see 27, 21. I may not get it exact. That's close enough. There we go. I got it. And let's bring this down to the low, which was right over there, 427.67. I'm going to be approximate. Now, I want to take these, and I want to extend them to the left. So it brings it all the way to the end. Now, there's my 100%, okay? So now I know when it drops here, all right, 428.27, there's also a higher one that you can't see. So let's take this out for 1 second, and then I'm going to reverse it and do it the other way. Hold on. Let's do that. There it is, 431.86. So if I was going up between 430.25, I would add these two together, divide it by 2. So that gives me what? 862. So I'm just rounding it off. 862 would be 862 divided by 2 would be 431. 431. So 431 would be my if I would stay above this here, I could say that, and we were up here and this here, and we were going to continue, I would say that 431 would be my next target. All right, would be right there. And I would put a target in there at 431. But right now, we're at the VWAP. We'll have to see what happens here. And as we go up, you see, I activate this, I will just push this up a little bit. And then I know which direction I'm going. So right now, I know we've just come to the next step, 428.64. The next step up, it would be 428.64 would be, well, we know it's 429. It's 428.95. See, right there. 428.95, and then the next one was 429.26. And these are how I know when I get a retraction of 40%. So I started here at 100, and I go down to 23, perfect buying area between here and here to do a call. But that's if we continue, and we did. We held, as you can see, and this is on a 5-minute, we did hold the VWAP. So now we know that the VWAP, I was correct from the beginning, saying the VWAP was the support, okay? I just either put it right above it or right below it. 427.75 was my number before, and it held. Exactly, look where it went, right over there. It was 427.70. So I was right on the number, okay? And I called that way before we got there. But that's how I do it. And I look across to see other points of resistance, which right here you could see was 427.81. Then you see over here, 427.62. It gives me that 427.75. I'm looking for steps, 450, 465, 475, 485, 495. I'm looking for certain steps, okay? It doesn't have to be exact. It's got to be good enough to give you a direction that you'll be able to figure that out. So there's your Fibonacci going up. So we know if next we were looking for 429. So right now I would, without any harm, say, you know what? I think that at this point, there's a good chance that, let's see, right there at 429, I can go right there and do this, all right? And what I want to do is, let's change this, and I'm going to edit this, and I'm going to make this one red, because it's above. It would be a resistance point, all right? Let's say right there. I don't like that color. Right there. But boom. Change this to a dotted. I would say this right now would be my upper target. Okay, chop line, 429, even. And I would say right now that, and I would show it on the right, so you would know that this is my target. And right there, it's hard to read. I got resistance, upper target, but what I'll do at this point, I'm going to pull out my Fibonacci. And now you can see there's my upper target, and look what just happened. We just hit it. So I put it in when it was down here, saying if we stay above this and we went up to a certain part on that Fibonacci told me, it showed me my upper target was 429. And in this case, it was correct. And if, like I said, up here we held. It was perfect. Went from orange to green, boom. And that time it held. By the second one, pull back right there at about 428.20. You should have been in that call. I would have waited to the second green, not the first. First one is usually what comes out on the SPY. All these people getting out of their shorts because they know it's going back up. Okay? Here, these are all the shorts getting out. Not just stocks. There's a lot of shorts in there. All right? People do short. You can on TOS you can short the SPY as much as you want. There's an unlimited amount of what do you call it? How do you know that? Oh, how do I know that? I know that. Okay? Because I look at my watch list and I look at the SPY. Is it in here? Why is it not in here? Let's put in the SPY for a second. Enter. And if I look at the SPY, where is it? Boom, boom, right there. Easy to borrow. I always know certain stocks always have unlimited shorts. ETFs, they always have unlimited shorts. TQQQ, QQQQ, SQQQ. SQQQ goes with the SPY. TQQ goes away from the SPY. How do you remember that? Just remember the one with the S, But a lot of people play indexes and they play the ETFs only because they can make you a lot of money. And right there, see that? There's my upper target. Again, 429. And it came back down and it's trying to hit it again. If it hits, but you see, what I don't like is, you see it touched it? That's on a 5-minute. Let's look at it a little closer. Let's go down to about a 3-minute. A second. Come on, open up. What happened here? What happened? I got the SPY. Did I lose my internet? It happens sometimes. I lost my SPY. Anybody else lose the SPY? What the heck's going on here? Let's go SPY. Enter. That's really weird. I lost my SPY. Let's try 1 minute. There you go. Okay. I don't know. That was weird. Okay, so here was my resistance before. Here was my support. Let's take this out. Put this back. There's my. So now we've got support. We've got resistance, at where our target is. All right. So let me just move this out of the way for a second. All right. I'm just going to move it. Just to get so it's out of the way. I'm going to take my resistance now. And I'm going to put that up to 429. Because twice we just tried to hit that. Now 3 times to 429. That's where I have all my resistance. And I would say now my support is below the 13 exponential. So I would move this up to about right over. I'm going to just say 50. Leave 50 cents in the channel. And right now you can see I got 428.50. And I've got here. And now I've moved this up depending on where it goes. And let's say 35 cents. If it gets above. Only if it gets above, maybe we have a chance of getting to 429.35. I'm sure if I had the Fibonacci open, it would show me somewhere in that area, but I took it away. All right? And again, now we have a step up. So instead of this being my step, it could be, I would have a step from let's say, here to here, and then here up. Here would be my step. And I'm on the top of the channel right now. So do I want to play a breakout? Possibly. Why? Because if you look at the high of the day on the SPY, all right, I remember it was 430.25. I'm just saying off the bat in my head. 430.25. That's right. That's exactly what it was. And if you look back here, I remember seeing it. Yeah, 430.25. So we have a lot of ways to go back up too. We have as much to go up as down. But as long as we're above the VWAP, we have a greater chance of going up than we do of going down. Do you see that? And when you learn to look at your charts and to realize that and say, where are we in the chart? And look at curve, by the way. I just happened to be watching it from the other day. This thing's still climbing. So it's not that it's much. It looks like a lot more than it is. 169 right here. Let's see, at 130, we were at 130. We were at 210. It looks like so much more than it is. It's only 20 cents. All right. Just happened to have it open because it was from the other day. I'm not telling you to trade it or play it. I'm just telling you it's there. And a lot of people don't realize, but I do not put an RSI here. I keep it in here. In my watch list, you can go over here. There's a little circle, and you can customize this, and you can add these symbols. I have RSI and HTB. Now, by doing that and putting those in there, you put it in here, so you go whatever it is, percentage change, it's already in there. I don't need to add it. I already have it. I'm going to take it off. I don't want it again. By adding those in there, the RSI is already, okay, it's already on the daily. But if you look at this right now, let's put Tesla in there for a second. Here's a good example. Let's take Tesla. All right, come on, Tesla, get in there. Okay. Now, if I do this, I'm just going to show you to understand why. Some of you keep your RSI in here, and I was discussing this with somebody earlier, and he does keep it in there, but he keeps it on the daily, so he already understands. But right now, if I look at Tesla on my watch list, all right, you'll see that Tesla is at 45.8. Now, if I'm on my regular 1 minute, and now let's say I add an RSI chart in here, watch what happens, all right? Let's put an RSI. Okay, let's double click it. RSI, not that one. This one here. Come on, should go below. There you go. Apply it, say okay. If you look at my RSI now, it shows that we're at 64.7. But that's not true. My RSI, we just said, is at 45, not 65. But what happens when I take this and I put it to a daily? Watch. 200 day, my daily. Where does it put it now? 45. See it? So you must be on the daily for you to see the RSI. Now here's the problem. I spoke to Thinkorswim, and they told me that the RSI chart slows. The more charts you put in here, the more you slow down your charting system. So I've decided not to use my RSI in here. So I take it out, and you can use the TTM Squeeze Pro. It's free. Not the Pro. You can use the TTM Squeeze. So you go into here, into TTM, and you can add in the scalper alert. All right, here I'll show you what the scalper alert does. And then the squeeze. I don't need the squeeze because I have the Squeeze Pro. But this will put in all these the arrows. You see the arrows? They actually will tell you, and if you follow them, you will see. Now, when it tells you it's going down, if you played that going down, you would have won. If you played this going up, but the problem is it's delayed. So when you see this arrow, you didn't see this arrow till it was about right there. But even when it popped up here, if you had played it, would you have won? Yes, just not as much. If you had played this here, would you have won? Yes, just not as much. And it always works. Pretty much, it works, even with the delay, knowing how to read it. Now, I don't use this one. Let's go back into my about 3 minutes here. Okay, and let's bring this open. Let's go. Come on, wherever you are. Perfect. Okay, so you see these with these now. Mine has red and it's got black. You can't see it because it's my background color. But if I go in here now, that's the wrong one. If I go in here and I take out the scalper alert, I still have the Squeeze Pro and the Squeeze Pro here. So I still have my arrows. I just don't have as many, but I have learned how to read charts, so I don't really need them. I know when certain things do where the arrows would pop in. And you need a little more of direction like this to see it better, okay? And you can make it a little tighter like that. So you're able to tell certain things. Even after the fact, you can tell. All right? You'll see I got black. If I change my background color, then you will see. Now, the reason I got this here, why don't I see the background here? I'd have to go, I have 158 bars, so I should be able to see that. 4310. Okay, apply. I don't know why I don't see it. I don't see my app. There it is. That's because I'm on a 1 minute and this is on a 3. Okay, that makes sense. You see what happened here? It moved down, came down a little, but I would really want to put this right about where it hit that top part for now. Right there. You see? And we're still moving up, even though we keep, nothing goes straight up. It goes up, it pulls back. And what does that mean? It means like here, I had it at 49.07. I'm still going to leave it at 429 because we're not there. We're not over it yet. But it's surely been trying. Look at this. But if it tries 9, 10, 12 times, you know what's going to happen? You get a pullback like we did here. And this time it pulled below that 13 exponential. But we're still bullish. We want to stay bullish here and bullish here. I mean, I personally want to see the whole market crash. I want to see it come down, 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 down. Because a lot will come down with it, like interest rates and everything else. We hope. All right, anybody have any questions? I'm able to keep the attention of the same 14 people. I will be getting off around 3. That's my regular time. Let's see. Joey K is here. If it wasn't for Joey K, I would never have been able to finish the option. It's good to see Dassel. That person is here. We know that person is here. Seacott. There's a lot of you. Daddy, Alden. I'm here. And there's more. I can't see them all. I cannot see them all. I had a really good good conversation with another moderator today. I never spoken to him on the phone. So finally, I figured it out. And the only hint I'll give you was I know now that he is not artificial intelligence. He is a real deal. He's a real person. I like him. He's a good kid, man. I'd be proud to say he was my son. But now he's just a brother in the Lord and a son. But he's a good guy. So right now we decided just to keep it between us. So we'll do that. But eventually I think I'm going to bring him in here and have him go over doing spreads of certain sorts to give you more insight. And I'll give announcements to it right before we do it. And I'll set it up with him. So we do it probably in an afternoon. So we're not too far into the morning. Or maybe 10:30. I think he's usually done by then. He's in and out. So it's been good. I mean, I went over a lot of information here. Fibonacci, went over a little bit on the spreads. I was watching Deck yesterday trying to understand why he would go out of the money, why he'd go so far out of the money, why didn't he do the exact ones going one way as he went the other way, you know. But, you know, we were talking about that, and there's different meanings for doing that. And when you learn how to do that, you can learn how to do vertical spreads, and there's different kind of spreads. I forgot what he called it. There's another term for it. Buying different calls or different puts with the different strike prices, but the same day. Speculating that if the stock goes the other way and you buy more the other. I usually don't do it that way. I usually buy the same one, but I buy it at a different time. So if I buy it at a different time, then the actual contract's costing me a different price. So if I pay $2, let's say, and I want this contract to, let's say I want the put to go down, and I want that contract to go up, and let's say the stock goes up, and now I'm at $2.50. If I buy the same contract and it's at $2.50 where I bought it before at $2, there's still a 50-cent difference in the contract price. I'm cost averaging it to $2.25, but they're cost averaging a bigger difference, and I just don't get the whole concept of it yet. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm saying that we find things that work for us, and if they do work, you need to stick with it. You really do need to stick with something that works. Okay? Listen to everybody, but learn for yourselves and do what's right for you. I hope this makes sense. Too many people are changing it up all the time, and then they lose. Or they win a lot of money, and they go balls to the walls, and then they get their ass kicked, and they say, I just did the same thing. All I did was double, triple the amount that I was doing to make more money. But what happened is you lost triple the amount of money. You know what? Things get scarier the more you use. The more you use, the more you choose, the more you trade, the more shares you trade. That's why for me sometimes even penny stocks doing 10, 20, 15, 20,000 shares at a time. Knowing how to properly get out, knowing that you can't just sell 20,000 shares. You might have to break it up into 2,500, or 5,000, 5,000, 5,000. You just don't buy 20,000 and sell 20,000. You got to gradually go into it. You don't want to send that kind of signal off sometimes. And sometimes you do. You want to send that signal, but if you buy a lot at one time, somebody's watching it who's got a lot more than you, they could drop it right on you. So you don't want that to happen. There are people watching, like I have time and sales open. I'm watching this right now. I'm watching this last column right here. That last column is the volume, all right? And what it shows me, let's open this up a little bit. It shows me what's going on. Now, this doesn't show contracts, but look, 200 shares, 300 shares. You add this all up, somebody's buying 1,000 shares, 500 shares. Look at the sell-off. All right, that's probably a market order. The reason it comes out like this could be a market order. So when they sell a market order of a lot of shares, it's not totally filling because there's so much. You see this little thing here? The smaller this little thing is, the more people that are trading. So you can look right now and go to Tesla and say, well, Tesla right now, let's see. What do I got? SPY. SPY. Tesla usually does 116 million shares in a day, average volume. So far, we've done 93, and we got 2 hours. We got an hour and a half left. So, if I take the 116 million, I'm going to take that right now. I'm going to go into a calculator. I'm going to put that in my calculator. All I do is go in there, V, and I'll divide that by 6.5 is 17.9 million per hour. And right now we've done what? We got 1.5 hours left, so we got from 9:30 to 4, 6.5. So 5. We're in 5 hours right now. So times 5, we should be at 89. We're at 93. We're just slightly above average today. Just slightly above. So we're really at average to slightly above average trading on Tesla. All right, and that's how you do it. You look at the average for the day, divide that by 6.5 hours from 9:30. I know there's after hours and earlier, but it seems to work. I've tried something a couple of times and it works. Some companies do go 8 hours. They figure from 7 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon. Some count up to 8 o'clock at night. But I just take the main 6.5 hours and I get an average for per candlestick. So if I look at a stock right now and it says right now, like the SPY says 74 million average, I know it's 74,000 per candlestick. If I look at Tesla and it says 116 million in a day, I know it's 116,000 in a candlestick. Okay, that should be the average. So if I come in here right now, let's see if I can see my volume. If I take this off, I will. Let's go here, and if I go here, I've got 470. That's 3 minutes. Let's bring it down to 1 minute for a second. And then I can take each candlestick and I'll show you. 116 is average. Watch what happens when I look at some of these candlesticks. And I look at the volume, which is up here. All right, so let's do this. Let's bring it a little bigger so I can see the actual candlesticks. So here, take the green. 165, above average. Right here, 317, above average. Here, 114, average. Right here, 115, average. Right here, 207, above average. Small one, 109, is about average. Here, 111, average. Anything within 10,000 on this amount is an average, okay? And look at the drop, 218. It's above average. It's twice what the average is. So somebody's selling off. Why? To get you to get scared to drop it even further? Or is he going to buy back? Nope, but look at the SPY. Did the same thing. See that? I told you after about 10 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 times, it got tired. It couldn't push it. So what happened? Here we go. Back to the VWAP again. Not that far yet, but we've got 428. I told you, that's what's going to happen. There it is. There's the drop. There it is. Right there. VWAP. That's 427.75, I think. So let's bring it back down to where it was. That's where I had it. 427.75. Let's see where it be. Right there. I always keep it right below or right above. Right above was 427.88, 85. Remember I put it at 85 and I put it right above it? Right there. There it is again. All right. So I had a 427.75 and I had a 427.85 to put it just above because I told you the VWAP is where. And if you look across, it was the same thing here, same thing here, here. I told you, VWAP. There is your, what do you call it? We're waiting for it to break below it, and it could happen right now. Could happen. This is a lot of shares being traded right here. That there was how many? 195,000, and here was 290. That's 300. That's 500,000 shares right there in 2 minutes. And then the small one here is nothing. That was the start, 32, and then bam, and there we go. And there's your drop. And now my upper target does not come into play. As long as I'm below that VWAP, my upper target is gone. You understand? But I'll tell you what does come back into play. I put this back into 3 minutes, and now I can do this. This comes back into play. So I got a bottom here, and a bottom here, and now you can see the squeeze play again. All right? And let's cancel my left. And there's my play. See it? It's happening all over again. The only difference is I didn't see the bottom. I can take this and I can activate it and bring it right to the low of the day. which would be right there. Okay? That quick. Now I got the exact angle. See my angle? Now I want to see if I can stay. My resistance now, 427.50. Support is 427.50. Take out this 8. This is the first time. 2:30 in the afternoon, that we came below. So what did I say? 427.50. And let's edit this one, 427.50, and make that one 428.50. And just try to keep $1 in the channel. That's all we need. Boom, boom. It really could be even lower, like about there. So let's make it 428.35, just above the view up. 428.35. Let's say 428 resistance. I'm gonna leave it there. Because it's tight. That's $1. It could be lower. We'll see. But right now, it pulled right back up. We're right back above. There's your fake out. Fake out down below. Everybody says, oh my God, it's changing. It's going to drop. So what do? They get out of their calls. They go into puts. And this guy goes back the other way. Takes all your money. That's the way it works. Believe it if you want. Don't believe it if you don't. Don't matter to me. I just seen it 100 times. Study the SPY. Study it. See why. Every time you see the SPY do whatever it does, I'm just adjusting my top stocks here. Every time you see that, go and look and say, well, tell you what, I'm on the 1 minute. I want to bring it to 1 minute. I'll show you why. I want to bring it to the 1 minute, and here, right here, bingo. So what time is that? 14:34. That's 2:30. You see any news? There's 2:11, 2:17. There's nothing. There is no news to support this big drop. So what is it? What's doing it? What pulled that down? Apple? Microsoft? Google? What? What pulled it down? What is this following at this point? Or is it being manipulated? That's what you have to figure out. And you can. You can figure it out, okay? You can figure it out by going to FinViz. And if you've been watching this, look at this. We went green on some of these. Apple went green. See? Apple just went up. But the market went down. Amazon's still down. But look at that. It went up. -3. It was like -4.5 before. So Apple got a little greener. Look at it. It just went back down again. It was just greener. But now you can see how it's changing. We're not really watching Apple. I don't watch Apple because it's too slow for me. Personally, it's just too slow of a stock. I can't deal with it. It's a good long-term stock. Tesla is a great daily stock, and it's a great long-term stock. All right, because what he does is he goes into different countries all over, and even though he's in China, he's competing against China. China has an EV car that is competing with Tesla. Very well so, okay? Some of the cars that he's even making right now are being produced in China for Tesla. Tesla's got manufacturing plants in China. They're all in bed with them. No matter what they say or what they do, all right, these guys are all in bed with the Chinese because they can manufacture things of quality today for a lot less money than Americans or anybody else, Mexicans, Vietnamese, a lot of stuff. You go look at your Samsung TV. It's always an LG refrigerators. They've always been made in South Korea. Now you look at the back of the label, Vietnam. Look at other Laos. You'll see other countries that they're being manufactured. I got a brand new Samsung TV made in Vietnam. And it did not come with chopsticks. Did not come with chopsticks. But it did come with a menu and it came with the internet. So I can order chopsticks. Just being funny. Running out of coffee. Well, folks, it's been a great day. It's been fun. You guys have been fun. I don't know if Deck ever came back. He's still playing his videos. He's playing videos. So I guess he doesn't want to come back. Let me see. What's he say here? We are coming back live right now. Right now? 2:41. Look at that. I just opened it up. Deck's coming back right now. And I think with that, folks, I'm going to call it a day. I want you all to have a great rest of your day. I've been live every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of this week. Did I miss yesterday? Maybe I wasn't in all day yesterday. I spent some time doing something else. I think I was here for a small time. But I want to wish everybody a great rest of their day. I wasn't watching. I don't know if you two people were watching me today. I wasn't really watching. Let's see. Let's go over there real quick. And nope, nobody's in. There's only 4 people. And I think I got a new person there. Jay Trades is live today. New lesson, Trading Formula 5. That was an hour ago. Okay, that's great. But Deck is back. And you can go catch him live in 49 seconds. And with that said, I am going to say goodbye. I want to thank you all for your support. I don't know if I'll be live tomorrow. I don't have a doctor's appointment tomorrow, but I do have the car tomorrow. I ate my car on Friday, so if I want to go out, my wife's home working. Keep an eye on the SPY. It's still in that channel. I don't know. I can't even tell you which way I think it's going to go at this point because I don't know. I'm willing to bet in the long run, I see it coming back down. All right, that's just my guess. I think that's going to happen. Let's see what happens when Power Hour comes. And just for those you don't remember, Power Hour is coming soon, and that comes at 3 o'clock. All right? I want to thank you again. Have a great day. I'll see you all tomorrow. Go join Deck or hang out. I'll leave these on until 3 o'clock. All right? Any questions, post them on the board. I will order them. There's Deck Live. Bye-bye.